Hey, mamas, it's your girl, Carrie. Summer is creeping up real quick, and I know some schools are already getting out around Memorial Day. We actually go through the end of June, which I like better because then we have all of July and all of August off. And I also have to pause sometimes and remind myself that this podcast is global. So while I'm over here getting excited about beach days and frozen margaritas, I know some of you are starting to see snowflakes outside. So apologies in advance for celebrating the sunshine here. But hey, you could rub it in our faces come January when you're at the beach and we're out here trying not to get hypothermia, building snowmen with our kids. But back to summer. As the busy moms we are, summer really has a way of sneaking up on us. We always have the best intentions in our head, right? Like this summer, I want to go on more picnics with the kids. I finally want to take that day trip, or let's plan for weekly ice cream runs. But somehow, before we know it, it's the end of July and we're looking back like, wait, did we even do any of that? So today, I want to help you change that. Let's talk about how to plan an intentional summer, one that feels meaningful and aligned really with the season you're in. And I added a fun little freebie to this episode. It's a easy summer bucket list for families. Check it out in the show notes. Now, let's dive in.
Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to juggle all the many hats you wear as a working mom? Do you want more quality time with your family without distraction of work and time alone to take care of yourself and your needs? Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life. I'm Carrie, a wife, mom of three, and a recovering perfectionist. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create balance in your life by implementing healthy habits, organizing your home and your schedule, being intentional with your time and in your relationships, and most importantly, how to start putting your needs first because no one can pour from an empty cup. Grab that second cup of coffee, or if you're anything like me, your third. It's time to dive into today's episode of Mom Wife Career Life.
Now, if you're like me, you're dreaming of all the fun things, the beach days, the family vacations, the slower mornings, the fire pit, lightning bugs, or maybe just even less homework. But let's be real, summer can also feel like this chaotic mix of juggling camps, trying to get work done with the kids home, keeping the house from becoming a snack graveyard, and wondering how you're supposed to make memories when you're absolutely exhausted by 2 p.m. So today, I want to help you design your summer with intention, not pressure, because you can have the summer that feels meaningful and fun without overbooking every second or losing your sanity in the process. Let's build a plan that aligns with your values, your energy, and most importantly, the season of life you're in. Okay, first things first. What do I mean when I say intentional summer? I don't mean perfect. I don't mean scheduled to the minute. I don't even mean screen free because let's be honest, Sundays, Bluey comes in as the MVP. For my kids, it was actually Backyardigans and Jake and the Neverland Pirates. I absolutely love Backyardigans and used to sit there and watch it with them and just sing along. But intentional just means you're making choices on purpose. You're saying yes to the things that actually matter to your family. You're not filling your calendar out of guilt, out of comparison, and most importantly, out of FOMO. So if you're already feeling behind because you haven't booked 17 camps and color-coded your calendar, take a breath. You're right on time. So let's jump into it. First step is reflect on what really matters most to you. Before you plan a single activity, take 10 minutes, 15 minutes of quiet time this week and just ask yourself, what do you want this summer to feel like? Not what do I want to do, but how do I want to feel? Do I want to feel peaceful? Do I want to feel fun, adventurous, restful, connected? Then ask yourself these questions. What do my kids need this season? Maybe your kids are high energy and need a lot of activities or they will drive you absolutely insane. My kids are a little older and they definitely want space to do their own thing with their friends. The next question is, what do I need this season? For me, the answer to this is always the beach at any time in any season. But seriously, I know I need space in our calendar to just breathe, so I don't want to jam pack our calendar. The next is, what memories do I want to create? This one always gets me excited. We have an awesome vacation plan this summer. We're going to Ireland, where pretty much all of my family is. I've shared before that my mom is from Ireland, and she has 12 brothers and sisters, and they are all still there with most of my cousins. I actually spent my summers there as a kid, but never really traveled around the country, maybe a couple of times to see a couple of things, but my mom hasn't either. So we're going this summer. We're staying with family for a bit, and part of the trip we'll be traveling around with my mom, one of my aunts who's like a second mother to me, and her kids and their kids. It's going to be A lot of us in one Airbnb, but I can't wait to meet those awesome memories. I know it's going to be amazing. The main reason we're going to Ireland is because one of my cousins is getting married, and he's actually getting married on our wedding anniversary, and his reception is in the same place ours was in. We got married in Ireland, by the way. So we'll be spending our 18th wedding anniversary in the same hotel we got married in, which I think is pretty awesome. So that's the big thing for us this summer. But you don't need a big trip to make memories. Maybe it's weekly picnics in the park. We used to love having picnics with the kids when they were little. We'd pack up peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and just go to the park, plop down by a pond, eat our lunch, and then we would skip stones on the pond. Picnics are free and so easy to do. And now, anytime any of us are near a pond or a lake, someone is always picking up stones and skipping them. I used to be the best one at it, but I think at this point, Michael has far surpassed me. The last question is, who do I want to see? This is a big one for us. We have a couple of friends that we don't get to see during the school year because life is just way too busy. So I make it a point to get in touch with them before the calendar fills up to pick a date when we can get together. If I didn't do this, the summer would fly by, calendars would fill up, and we would never be able to see them. But I want to stress an intentional summer isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things for the version of you and your family. Step 2, create a summer bucket list. And this should be a lot of fun. Once you've answered the questions we just went over, you're going to sit down with your kids and you're going to ask them to write down 3 to 5 things that they want to do over the summer. Some can be big things, but some things can be little things too, like going camping, a movie marathon with popcorn, backyard water balloon fights or water gun fights, a day trip to a beach, or maybe you have a couple of beaches around you and you check out different beaches each week. Maybe making homemade ice cream. We used to love to do that. We had like this ice cream ball that you would fill with dry ice and you'd roll it back and forth and make a game out of it, and then it would turn into ice cream. But little things like that, my kids loved it. But another thing my kids really want to do this summer is a city day. They love to go into New York City. I love to go in New York City too. So we're going to do a couple of day trips. And for the amount of times that they've actually been in the city, I don't think we've ever taken them to Central Park. So that is definitely on our list. But once you do this process with your kids, then you're going to combine the list and then highlight the top things that everyone can kind of agree upon. There's no pressure to do everything. Just having it written down really helps you stay aligned and make it a family process so everyone can look forward to the summer. You can even take it a step forward and make a summer vision board. This is a really fun activity, especially if your kids are a little younger, and something that can absolutely keep them busy for a bit. But take the list you created, give your kids some magazines, have them look up pictures online, print them out, grab smoke tag, or even computer paper, and just let them go to town. Each kid can make their own too, or you can make one for the family, and then hang it somewhere where everyone can see it. And it's a nice little reminder of what you want your summer to not only look like, but most importantly, feel like. Step 3, break out the calendar. Now it's time to start mapping out your summer. And I say this loosely, but I like to print out the calendar sheets at the beginning of the year, the same ones that I hang in our kitchen command center. And when it's time to plan summer, I clear some space out on the table and I lay out June, July, and August. I actually do this pretty much every quarter. But for the summer, I start by adding in the big rocks, those non-negotiables, things like the Ireland trip, Kaylee's birthday, Michael's birthday, family events, any summer camps they're signed up for, sports tryouts and scheduled because football season starts in the summertime, high school fall sports start in the summertime, which I don't really love, but I totally encourage my kids to play sports. But once all those dates are on there, I can see where we actually have breathing room to plan some fun extras. And again, I say plan loosely, but this is also when I grab my phone and I start texting those friends that I want to hang out with in the summer to coordinate those get-togethers. I share the dates when we're free, so that way we can get something locked in before the calendar fills up with more stuff, because we all know how fast that happens. But once that's done, you'll start to see those beautiful blank spaces, also known as opportunities, to sprinkle in some of those fun bucket list ideas that you just came up with. And even if you're not sure what you want to do yet, just block off days for family days. So that way you're holding space to be intentional with your family time before you overbook yourself. And side note, if you work from home and your kids are a little older, check out episode 10. I linked it in the show notes. It's how to keep your older kids entertained and not drive you nuts when you work from home in the summer. Because if you work from home, you know how hard it is when the kids are home for the summer, and the cost to keep them in camps is just ridiculous. So there are a few weeks for us where I just let them veg. And hopefully during that time, they'll pick up a summer reading book or two. Because at least where I live, kids get homework over the summer, especially in high school if they're taking any sort of AP or honors courses. They have a ton of work to do in the summer. So Make sure you're not cramming that into the last week because then you're just starting the school year with everyone stressed out, including yourself. Step 4, build your rhythm, not a rigid schedule. Your summer does not need to be a full-blown hourly itinerary. I'm all about routines, and they're really great for little ones, but try not to make it so rigid. Think of it more as a rhythm or a flow. With some ideas, morning can be outdoor play, errands, or camp. Afternoons could be rest time, maybe reading, creative play, or even screen time, because we know we need a break, and it's okay to give your kids a little screen time. And then in the evenings, maybe family dinner, go for a walk, a board game, or a fire pit. We have one of those gas fire tables on our porch, and that's one of the things we love to do in the evenings. I always have stuff to make s'mores on hand, so we just hang out, roast some marshmallows, tell some stories. That's a good time. This gives your day structure, but it still leaves space for being spontaneous. And if you work from home, having a shared family calendar with your work blocks and when you can take breaks will really help your kids understand when you're available and when you're not. The Skylight calendar is actually really great for this one. It's a digital calendar that you can either hang on your wall or put on your counter, but it does need to be plugged in and it syncs to your phone. It also lets you have a chore chart. It is a little pricey, which is why I haven't pulled the trigger on getting it yet, but I linked it in the show notes if you want to check it out. Step 5, protect white space. Let's make this part loud for all the mamas in the back. Every single day does not need to be productive or filled, and I'm saying this to myself too. In fact, your summer needs some built-in nothing days. The days where pajamas stay on, where cereal counts as dinner, where you lay on the trampoline and just watch the clouds. Don't just plan the stuff you're doing, plan the space to actually breathe, because that's really where the magic is and the connection is. And often, some of my favorite memories with the kids are those spontaneous things we've done, and you can't be spontaneous if your schedule is jam-packed. Number 6, give yourself permission. Before we wrap up, I want you to hear this. You do not need to create a Pinterest-worthy summer. You do not need to be the cruise director of your household. You do not need to do what every other mom on Instagram is doing. You just need to show up with love, presence, and a little bit of strategy. You're also allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to cancel plans. You're allowed to work and rest and play all in the same week. So ditch that guilt and just embrace a summer that totally serves you. And I'd love to hear one thing you're saying yes to this summer and one thing you're going to let go of. I'll be cheering you on the whole way. Come on over to our Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms, and tell me all about it. Let's make this summer one that fills your cup and your family's memory bank. Sending you so much love and light. Until next time on Mom Wave Career Life with Carrie Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat.